Welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the Thermaltake V9 BlacX Edition case. This is a nice looking box. It has a picture and more pictures, I believe, on the back here, yes, of the product. So if you're picking this up in store, well, you'll have lots to read and lots to look at. Lots of also features and specifications. Just lots and lots of goodness on this box. This is the V9, this is the BlacX Edition. You can see here USB 3. You shouldn't buy a case, to be honest, today without one USB 3 port. Why? Well, pretty much everything coming out now on external drives and other things, other devices that you connect to your computer system, well, has a USB 3 port. It would be really the connection of choice, including USB thumb drives and so on and so forth. Oh, and I almost forgot here. See these? Holes on either side of the box. Small things like this. Very important if you're picking it up in store. Yep, you can just carry the box right out of the store. I can't stand actually grabbing a box from the bottom. I love boxes that have holes in them as handles. Strange. Okay, I'll open it from the top. You know, if it's a big box, I probably would open it from the bottom, because then all I would do is just slide the box up without, you know, having to strain myself. But this is not too big. This is a mid-power case, so I'll open it from the top and turn it over. There you go. She's out. Styrofoam on either end. Those in the box. Plastic bag. Looks like the user's manual just kind of wanted to get away on me there. And you know what? I think there's something else inside of here. Just warranty information. I say just warranty information, but that's a good thing. Oh, looks like we've got a drive bag cover that's been popped out. That's not a big deal. We have, looks like masking tape here at the front. We just take that off, and this was to prevent that from happening, but hey, sometimes the best attempts fail. It's not a big deal. Protective plastic here on the shiny bits, and also protective plastic here on the side window, and more on the inside. So let's have a closer peek at this case. As you can see from the styling, it is quite aggressive, but still maintaining some degree of sanity. I can't say that I like cases that really overdo it, you know, like that transformer kind of styling. Some people love that, but I can't say that I do. Kind of plain lines, it's fine for me, but still, this is far from plain, but I do like it. At the top, there is a massive 230mm exhaust fan. Mesh. You'll find lots of mesh on this case. Also, this is quite neat. 2 hard drive docking stations. I shouldn't necessarily say hard drive, because you could also, of course, have a solid state drive in here, and it can be a 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch drive. Now let me show you how easy it is to install a 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch drive. First of all, the 2.5-inch drive. Just slide it down, push, and it's in. Same goes for a 3.5-inch drive. Now if you want to remove them, all you do is pull up. There are 2 USB ports. One is USB 2 and the other one is USB 3. The audio jacks, 3.5mm headphone and microphone. Reset button. power button with power LED and the hard drive activity LED. More mesh at the front. Mesh is excellent because it does provide really good ventilation, and in my opinion it looks fantastic. There are 4 5¼ inch drive bays, and by the way, each one of these drive bay covers doubles as a dust filter. And note that they have 2 3½ inch drives here as well, and the same with these, they double as dust filters. It's kind of like a dust filter on the inside, which you can just take out and wash or clean off and put back in. Very, very easy. Also here at the bottom, not a lot of branding, just a single Thermaltake logo at the bottom middle. And by the way, if you want to remove this front bezel, it is extremely easy to do. Just pull at the bottom and it comes off. And I love the fact that it's not connected in any way to the case. Like, for example, there's no fan on here. There are none of the leads for the LEDs or power or anything. It just comes right off. There's one 120mm blue LED intake fan here at the front bottom, and they do include a removable dust filter. Now, if you choose to, you can actually remove this 120mm fan that they include and install an optional 140mm fan. You can see the holes there for a larger fan. A beautiful window on the left side panel along with ventilation, and they have some branding actually on the left side of the case right here. Thermaltake, cool all your life, but it's done in a way that you can hardly see it. Let me just zoom in right here. You see that right there? So it's not, excessive, going back to branding and so on and so forth. There is this here, but it's not that bad. A lot of cases have nothing on the right side panel, but this one has ventilation. Now, the first thing you'll notice at the back of the case is this big blue cable. What is it? It's the USB 3 lead that is responsible for that USB 3 port at the front of the case. This end gets connected into the motherboard's USB 3 port, and of course that would then allow you to connect something into that front USB 3 connection on the top of the case. Note the 2 plastic grommets. These are to route cables through. Also, here is where the motherboard's I/O shield plate gets installed, and they include one 120mm exhaust fan. Here are the 7 ventilated expansion slots, and at the bottom is where a standard ATX power supply gets installed, and they include 4 thumb screws, 2 on each side panel. Found this bag inside of the case. This has your typical stuff in it: cable ties, motherboard standoff, screws, and so on. Now, this case is black on the inside. It has what you should have in a mid-sized tower case, like, for example, a hole on the motherboard tray for the cooler's retention plate, all kinds of clips here also to attach cables behind the motherboard tray, although there is not a lot of room behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel as well. The motherboard tray is not removable. A toolless design on 3 of the 5¼ inch drive bays. Just twist and remove, insert the drive, and then just pop this back into place and then lock it down. Same thing goes for installing up to 5 3½ inch drives. There's also a toolless design on the expansion slots, so to install a card, just flip this up, pull it out, install the card, then push this back in and flip down. Note that there's no rubber rests for the power supply to lodge on. So you've got a really long video card? Well, that's not a problem. This case fits video cards up to around 11 plus inches in length, approximately 290 millimeters. So just to recap, there's a large 230mm exhaust fan at the top of the case, a 120mm blue LED intake fan at the front of the case, and a 120mm exhaust fan at the back of the case. Now let's have a listen. The market is flooded with fantastic mid-size tower cases. So what makes this one different than the many other ones that are out there? Well, it's those docking stations at the top. Now, of course, you can buy external docking stations. So that's a choice. If you have a case that does not have that, that's fine. But if you want an all-in-one, a case that has it already, it not only has one, it has two docking stations at the top, and they can fit either 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives. I think they are great for both a boot drive, because you could, if you wanted to, remove your boot drive when you leave your computer system. It could be in your home. Maybe you don't want your brother, sister, mother, father, looking at your stuff or getting into your computer system. It's good for even home purposes. It could be used in an office situation. At the end of the day, take your drive with you, or secure it in a safe at your office or something like that. So I think those docking stations are really, really cool. The overall build quality and design of the case is quite good. Black interior, hole on the motherboard tray. So there's lots of stuff here that the case does have, but there's a few things it doesn't have. Like, for example, the motherboard tray is not removable. That's not an issue for some people. Also, the feet on the bottom are kind of like soft plastic. I wish they would have, just included a few rubber feet. That would have been nice. Also with the case, no fan on the left side panel window, which is kind of odd. I think if you're looking for a case today, you really should be looking for one that has a side panel fan, because that fan will pull in lots of cool air and help cool everything inside the case. So overall, I think this is a great product. Until next time, take care.